I want to throw another spanner in this situation. Speaking from my experience, like growing up in the Middle East,
Mhm.
Africa as well, we have very tight-knit sense of family, not
Mhm.
just to the nuclear family, but also to the wider family
Yeah.
network. And the other kind of like thing that you want to throw in the cocktail of this is that having cultures where you honor, people in authority like parents,
Mm.
right? So in those scenarios where there can be a lot of codependency, how does one even begin to kind of come out of that sense of codependency where you feel like if I share with you what I need, or if I say, no, this is a boundary,
Yeah.
it almost makes you feel like you're doing it to God in a way.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that? Like,
Yeah. I do see that as well. And I really appreciate you bringing up the cultural piece of this because I do think there's nuance in different cultures for sure.
yeah,
And that whole dance, I talk about this dance of connectedness and autonomy, right? Where in the West, we kind of err toward
yeah,
individualism and I'll do me. And there are other cultures where it almost errs toward we do everything
yes,
enmeshed and together,
yes,
right? And
yeah,
so and I do think it's a dance of both. But I love your question. I think that umbilical cord, when we're talking about our parents, it
yeah,
is the voice of God. It's strong. There's a reason we have a
yeah.
hard time separating from parents, regardless of our cultural background. We're
Mm,
kind of hardwired to want the affection of our parents. And so if you're in a situation, and I do talk about this in one of the chapters, sort of healing these childhood wounds, where you had a parent who misused their authority, right?
yeah,
Who exploited, took advantage of, violated you in any way, parentified. I talk about this word parentification, where kind of got you to take care of the parent. One of the tips I would say is number one, sometimes actions speak louder. We can still honor our parents and honor ourselves. It's this both and. It doesn't have to be one or the other. But maybe the way that I'm going to honor, or you're going to honor your parents, maybe the way in this situation, I'm going to be honoring my parents. I know what it is that I'm doing. They don't really experience it that way. They feel like I've left. They feel like I should be doing more. And that's hard, right? That gets into, we have to
yeah,
really do that internal work of saying, I know what I need to be healthy, which
mm-hmm,
means I may have to have more time away. I may not be able to meet the needs that they're putting on me. Here's what I can do. I can do. And I go through really practical things in these settings when it's with a parent. I'm
yeah,
not going to be able to be on the phone with them every day. I'm not going to be able to meet their every need. I can do this thing, right? Sometimes people do have to step away altogether for a season when there's been a real misuse of authority from the parent. It's really hard with parents, but I do think it's
sure,
important to really pay attention to those resentments, to those. We also don't honor our parents by, I'll often say to people, the best way you honor your parents is to become the most beautiful version of the soul they created, because
so
that is
good.
what was really honoring to parents. They don't always see it that way,
Yeah,
but it really is. We have to know that to be true. That even though I'm doing this hard thing that's going a little bit different direction, what they wanted, I'm being a good, I'm doing good in the world. I'm healthy. I'm being a good mom myself. I'm healing myself. That is actually paying respect to my parents, even though they might not see it that way.